Hello.
There you are.
There you go.
Hey, Liz.
How are you?
Rich, good.
Hey, Stephen.
Nancy's supposedly coming in. They admitted her.
There's Richard.
Yep.
Yeah, Bruce, I look at all your FaceTime things with all the videos. It's great.
You must have a boring
Appreciate
life.
Oh, there's Nancy.
Hi.
Let's see who else is here. I just got an email from Rich Levy. He had planned to come, but he couldn't make it. Something else came up, and Chuck Levine is in rehab, so he doesn't even get the emails at the moment. But he said
What kind of rehab?
I don't remember. He went back to rehab.
Mm.
But he sent me a Facebook thing because his email bounced. I guess he couldn't see it. Here comes Kenny Lane. And I did hear from Stan Smoller's wife. She's hopefully going to try to have him join us. Should be cool. He has a problem getting around, apparently. Okay, waiting for everybody else here. Okay. You guys can start chatting if you want while I'm looking. I'm going to try another one in March. This doodle thing really works well. I know some people don't like it, but it gives us a fairly large choice to pick a time that's convenient for most without having 20 some people or so do that. We still have a bunch of people we've never heard from in 3 years. I think I had the most recent address, but we'll see. So
Yeah,
what's everybody?
I've used Doodle a lot when I have to schedule meetings for organizations
It's
that
handy.
I'm in
It's-
charge of something or other for.
Julie sent me a note and said she's going to be in Miami for some kind of event, but she's going to try to come in on her phone if she can. I mean, that's the best. So what's everybody up to?
No good.
Anybody planning vacations?
Yes, as a matter of fact,
Let's start, Liz.
we're going to Costa Rica for 10 days.
Oh, great.
Leaving on the 16th of February.
It's a good time to go. The
Yeah.
coffee is so good there. Oh, I brought a bunch back.
We're taking another foodie trip. We're going back to London, Porto, and Lisbon.
Well, you live in Portugal, basically.
Oh, we love it. Well,
And yeah, and Barcelona, yeah.
I think last month though
Hey, Nance.
we did Paris and Madrid last month. So
Yeah. Well, we booked a back-to-back one for June, and I got an incredible deal. I can't believe how cheap it was to go to the British Isles, which we've been to before. We're going back to Lerwick in Shetland, and since we were there last time, I've gotten hooked on the TV show, and so I'm trying to plan that. Going to Liverpool for the first time, get a little Beatles tour. And then Belfast, which is also sort of interesting. And then we said, well, it goes out of Amsterdam, and it's actually turned out to be the same cruise itinerary that we had scheduled just before COVID for 2020, and that got canceled. And so we're going up to the fjords for 5 or 6 days too, but got a balcony, got the liquor package, the whole thing.
when you're in Liverpool, be aware that that is a tremendously big soccer town. And in fact, I think they're leading the English Premier League right now.
No.
So you're liable. I mean, if you're on the weekend or maybe even a Wednesday, I think they play Wednesday and weekends. You're liable to hear a big roar from the stadium from Wembley.
I'm just looking. Let's see. Where are we going to? Liverpool. We're on a Sunday.
Oh, you may hear a big roar.
And I found a guy who's at least 60 that's giving the Beatle tour. So I saw a bunch of 29-year-olds giving tours. Nope, that didn't work. Okay, who else is?
I think that team gave a lift to the town, didn't it, Ken?
I'm sorry?
Something. I think that the soccer team Liverpool it sort of remade the town. It made it
Well,
a
Rich,
very popular. I saw something on TV about
yeah,
that.
but that's generally the way it is in any big soccer town.
Yeah.
You know, Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham. You know,
Yeah. Or
those.
we're doing Ireland too, a little bit down to Cork and Waterford. So it should be fun. I love putting together my own little tours with groups on Facebook, and we'll do that. And then I'm off to Montreal 2 weeks for my Folk Alliance thing, which is lots of fun. There'll be about 2,900 folk singers, each trying to get me to review their CD. I'll tell you, I've been spending. In fact, that's my project after this. There 800 and no, over 1,000 people are going to perform over 3,800 showcases of 15 minutes each over 4 days.
Wow.
And so I don't know them. I get their names and I look them up on YouTube and I make a playlist of about 300 and I share that with other people that go. It's sort of fun. Okay, who else?
Talking about folk singers, Stephen, several years ago, my wife and I were on a trip and we were in the transfer part of Heathrow. And who was sitting there? She said to me, my wife, she said, "Isn't that Joan Baez?" And I said, yeah, it does look like her. And I said, "Gee, why don't you go up and, say something?"
Sure.
She said, "No, no." And I said, "Well, I'm going." So I went up and said, "Are
We
you?"
shall overcome.
And I said, "Are you?" And she said, "Yes, I am."
Yeah.
Without and I said, "Well," I said, "I wanted to tell you that I really liked your singing, and especially given that the singers today, I can't understand the words they
Yeah.
sing, and I could understand everything that you and all those other people said. That was great." And she said, "Well, there was a review in the London Times that day, of her concert that she had just given in London." And she said they said the same thing. She said there was an old crowd there who said they wanted to hear the words to the songs, and they loved it. And she said, "I'm on tour," and so that was. I said, "Well, I enjoyed your singing," and I remember she was in Cambridge when she was
Well, that's
younger.
when she came out of the Boston
Passim,
scene.
the coffee house there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, I've become friends with Noel Stuckey, who's better known as Paul from Peter, Paul, and Mary. And Peter, I met Peter a few times, and he died a couple weeks ago,
Mhm.
which was a shame. But Paul and I are in touch. He lives up in Maine, and I'm in touch with Tom Paxton and a few of the other
Great. Yeah.
oldie people or so on. So I consider I mean, I took photographs for the Philly Folk Festival in the 70s, so I use that a lot.
I'm surprised there's still folk music being sung because you never hear it on the radio.
Well, it depends where you're listening.
It also depends on
actually,
where you live.
Well, two things. Number one, definition of what folk music is. I mean, read the Fine Country last night at the Grammys, or Sunday night at the Grammys with, Beyonce winning. But the two things about folk music. Number one, there's a website and he streams it called Folk Music Notebook. 24 hours, all the folk music from the 60s and the 70s, etc. And then I found, who's up in Boston? Is that you, Liz? Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm up in Brookline. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't even thinking. Boston has Club Passim.
Yep.
But
Right.
Cafe Lena is in upstate New York, and they have a website where all their concerts, they do 5 or 6 a week, maybe, and every week you can stream them live for either $7 or for $10 a month. You can watch all the ones over a 2-week period. And I've been having such fun with that. You never know who's going to be there, and they have the list. So if you like to watch, pretend you're at the place, they use 3 cameras. And so it's Cafe Lena.
Where is that in upstate New York? Where is
Yeah,
that?
it's in, what's the word I want to keep thinking of? It's near Woodstock sort of area.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
okay.
upstate New York. I can't remember.
Okay.
What's up with you, Naomi? We started talking before you came.
Yeah, well, I was just listening to everybody. Hello, everybody. Nice to see you.
Hi,
So,
Naomi.
I am getting ready to take my leave in Florida. In next week, I'll be going down until June.
Why'd you
And
wait so
glad to get.
long?
Well, I had things to do up here. I'm doing some new kind of art, and I am teaching a class up here. I had to finish that. I'm doing something called Zentangle, which is a very interesting. It's about doodles. But you turn it into, cards and bookmarks and everything. It's a kind of Zen meditation type of art, and I'm teaching it in Marist Grove. And Liz, you comment on my stuff on Facebook. I believe you've seen it.
Yes, yeah,
This, yeah,
they're
yeah.
really, really interesting. Very
It's a
nice.
new form of art. It's very nice and it's very easy to do. You don't have to be an artist to do it. So now that my class is done, I can go to Florida and do more classes down there. So wherever I go, I'm just teaching art and loving it.
Did
But
you do
I
the
like to
stuff
do it in
behind
the
you?
warm.
Did
Pardon?
you do the stuff on the wall behind you? We see a bunch of
Yeah, they're all my photographs. Yeah, they're travel photographs. Uh-huh. What I do is when I was traveling a lot more, I did travel posters and I did photography for like 30 years.
Oh,
And but I now enjoy my photography. I'm not doing that much anymore. I'm into more art. And but yes, can you see it in back of me? Oh,
yep.
yeah, they're all
That's
travel.
what Larry Medoff was doing too.
Yeah,
Before he died. Yeah.
yeah.
Nancy,
And
what's up with? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Naomi.
no, that's all. That's all.
Good. Nancy, what's up with you?
Well, I keep busy. I'm still playing tennis. I'm in two groups and I joined a gym. I go like 3 times a week and walk. And my family is 5 minutes from me, so I get to see my grandsons play basketball, flag football, whatever. And I see them all the time, so I feel very lucky.
Who else didn't we hear from?
hey,
Who else is
Steve,
going on vacation?
Steve, the city that you were thinking of, was it Kingston?
Oh, in New York? No. Of Saratoga. Saratoga
Oh,
Springs.
okay.
Oh,
Saratoga.
Saratoga's nice.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No.
Stephen, I wanted to thank you again for that video that you sent, where your drive through Trenton.
Oh, yeah.
I told you, I emailed you, but wanted to thank you again.
Did. Yep.
That was
Yeah,
fun.
that was wonderful.
Yeah, that was great to see all those old streets and neighborhoods, and
Mhm.
that was great.
Yeah. Well, we met a couple, I guess about a year and a half ago that live in Philly. They're both in the medical field and they're half our age. So we feel like we're their parents. And so we go out to dinner together and I found out he came from Trenton and originally, and his parents still live up there on Parkway Avenue. And so he sends me a note a couple weeks ago and says, oh, by the way, because he runs a lot and they bicycle a lot. And he says he had a stroke. The guy's 40 years old. He had a stroke. I said, yeah, well, he happened to be his parents for Thanksgiving, I guess it was. And they took him to Mercer Hospital, which is right down the street. So
Yeah.
we went to lunch with them about a week or so ago. And we're chatting. And he said, by the way, did I tell you that my father had a similar stroke? Said, yeah, oh yeah. And he went to the same hospital and got the same thing. So yeah, it was funny going through. And I was so tempted to ring the doorbell. I post that every once in a while. And I did, but there was nobody there. There was a for sale sign. And I looked it up and the price was like, I don't know, $700,000 or something like that. And of course the real estate taxes were nuts like they usually are.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm glad I did that. I want to meet Steve Daner one day when I go up. And how about the fact that I ran into Mickey Newman
Yeah.
and Rochelle?
Amazing.
Everybody saw the video, I guess. I hope it's still up there. But that was just really funny. I mean, I walked in there and there's Mickey. I was like, "Why are you here?" He says the same thing to me. It's the old monkey.
You missed my street, though. I lived on Elmhurst.
Where was Elmhurst?
That was between Stuyvesant and Bellevue Avenue.
Yeah.
Stuyvesant,
And Bellevue.
Bellevue. Okay.
Yeah, I used to walk to Junior 3 from my
Mhm.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was,
but it
You know,
was.
I still go back and forth to Trenton because I have some stuff that I do there. And whenever I go, I kind of take a little tour all over. And I live at Maris Grove in Pennsylvania. And we have 5 people from Trenton, not in our generation. They're in their late 80s, 90s. But we took a tour. I took them all to Di Lorenzo's for pizza.
I
Oh,
And
haven't
we
yet,
went to
yeah.
Cadwalder Park.
Yeah,
They haven't seen Cadwalder Park in years. And of course, I'm sure all of you know that the Monkey House is
Wait.
now this wonderful museum.
Yeah.
right.
And the bear thing is still there. No animals in the back, though. They don't
No.
have any animals anymore. But it's amazing. You know, I always drive around Hermitage and Nancy, I go up to Stuyvesant and I look
mhm.
around there and Bellevue Avenue. And it's just amazing. Junior 3 is still intact. The new Trenton High, for
Yeah.
those of you that haven't been there. But it's not the same Trenton, and yet it is the same Trenton.
No.
So I like going back every now and then.
That's so
Yeah.
you're in Maris Grove where?
In Glen Mills.
Okay. Do you know the Golub? You know Carol Golub? She lives in
Oh,
your
that sounds familiar. I can
uh,
picture her.
what's her husband? What this other husband, her boyfriend? The hell's his name?
Is she from Trenton?
She was from Logan, but she was married to Alan Golub from Trenton.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'll have to look it up. It's amazing. I bump into people all over the place all the time.
Yeah, we went out one day to have lunch in the cafeteria or whatever you call that thing. Oh, wait a minute. We got 2 people in the waiting room. Come on, let's let them all in. Oh my God, we get Eddie Carpenter coming from halfway around the world. Better known as George now. He's in Cebu in Asia.
Wow.
Yeah.
What time? What
I
time
don't
is
know.
it
He'll
there?
tell us when he gets in. I'm waiting for them to come in. I let them in.
The other one looks like Jonathan Weber.
Yeah.
Okay. Are they here yet?
Where is he?
They disappeared. They were
There's
there.
Weber. I don't know if
Jonathan, put on your video.
yep.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, there he is. Yeah.
No, a second. Why do I see Carpenter turn on his camera?
With it.
Connecting to audio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eddie, are you here?
Yeah, I just figured out how to get on. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. You don't have a camera?
Yeah, I do. I got to figure that out now.
Okay. So what time is it? We all want to know what time it is.
It's
And what day?
5:15 a.m. Good morning,
Good
It's
morning.
tomorrow.
Are you in China?
No,
Philippines,
Philippines. Yeah.
and it's 23 degrees over here.
Mhm.
we're up to
Wow.
35, so
It's
It's
warmer
43
here in
where I
Boston.
Yeah.
Oh,
Liz,
wait,
where
I
are you
forgot
in
to tell
Boston?
you.
I actually
That's
live in
Celsius.
Somerville.
Oh, okay. I live in Brookline.
oh, wait a minute. You both are up there?
Yeah.
Now, did you
Actually, yes.
you're the folky
Somerville is a
person.
real coming town. It's exploding.
So how close to
Somerville?
Boston are you, Rich?
Sorry?
How close to Boston are you?
Oh, Brookline is just west of Boston. It's
Okay,
like
so
a couple miles. It's
you-
very close.
do
Yeah.
you know about the Folk Americana Hall of Fame? Joan
No.
was there for the opening. Yes, you need to know about that. I'm dying
Where,
to
in
go up.
Brookline?
No, it's in Boston.
Oh, in Boston.
It's in the something center. What's the name of it? Bach Center?
Hi, Jonathan.
Doing.
Hi, Jonathan.
All right. Got a new computer, so I'm
Oh, there he is.
figuring this thing out.
Hey,
You
Jonathan.
don't have to brag. You don't have to brag.
Rich, I'll send you information on it. You need to go.
Yeah,
This,
please.
you'd love it too.
Yeah. I have to tell you a funny story, but it will have to do with Har Sinai. Because
Which
that's
is
where I was bar
church.
mitzvahed.
Which is now a church when I drove by.
You're right.
Oh, really?
So,
Yeah, it's a
when I-
religious
So is
something.
Anna. So is
So
Anna.
when I was 12 years old, I went in to see the rabbi. The rabbi at Har Sinai then was Rabbi Haberman, Joshua O. Haberman. Maybe some people heard of
Oh,
him.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was my
So I
rabbi.
went in and he said to me, okay, you're 12 years old. Your 2 brothers got bar mitzvahed, Marty and Lee, and they left the synagogue immediately after being bar mitzvahed. That was it. And he said, "You're the last Robinson, so I want you to agree to go on with your religious training for another 4 years." This was after regular school, after junior three. And I have to go walk all the way up to Bellevue Avenue. You know, really.
For a
I said,
pickle and
no,
one
I've got sports every season, Rabbi. I can't, just like my brothers. And he said, "Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to bar mitzvah you unless you agree to go on to be confirmed."
Wow.
What do you think I did? I'm sitting there, 12-year-old. I don't know what, I really don't know what blackmail is. And but I said, "This is not good." So I said, "Anything you want, Rabbi." So I lied to him. And then I went home to my father and he hit the ceiling. He said, "You're going to play sports like your brothers, like everybody." So years later, so I'm up here practicing oncology, and one of my colleagues is going to she got converted to Judaism, and she decided she wanted to be bat mitzvahed at age in her 60s. So she invited me to her bat mitzvah here in Brookline. So I went, and I went to the service. It was terrific. It was fun. The rabbi was a young guy. He played banjo. He was, guitar. He was really modern and wonderful. So after the service, I went up. I said, "Rabbi," I said, "Gee, that was terrific." I said, "It's not my experience when I went to Hebrew school." And he said, "Well, what happened?" And I told him, and he said, "Well, who was the rabbi?" And I told him. He said, "Joshua O. Haberman." And his mouth dropped open. And he said, "He's my boss.
Oh,
He's the head of Reformed Judaism in this country." And he said he's been to the White House several times. He's written multiple books. He's a scholar. He's one of the. So I looked him up on the internet, and sure enough, he was. He had a tremendous career. So here he was,
Must be
a
quite
young
elderly
rabbi
now.
in his early 30s.
He died.
And
He died.
I said, "Gee, if I ever see him again, I'll tell him, what I thought of him, what he did to me." But then I thought, well, this guy, he was a scholar. He was just trying to keep his brethren in the synagogue. But it's really, and I looked up, he was a very well known. He died a couple of years ago, but a tremendous scholar. Anyway, it was just
Listen,
Richard,
Funny.
he still tells the story about this kid, Richard Robinson, who made him a promise and didn't keep it.
absolutely.
From Trenton, he moved down here to Washington, D.C.
Yep.
And he was the congregation he led was a very wealthy congregation.
But the Har Sinai was his, I think it was his second or third stint around. But he was a really good guy, though. Anyway, that was Trenton.
John, what's up with you? We haven't heard from you yet.
same old stuff, I guess. Nothing much. I talked to Rabbi Haberman about 2 years before he died. Actually remembered me, which was amazing. But his 3 children became Orthodox. They all moved to Israel. And he was Rabbi Emeritus at that point, and I was handling Jewish resources for AT&T. So, which is why I had to contact him. Like you said, Richard, he was the big Mahuff in the Reform movement.
Yeah.
well,
I had somebody speak. I keep talking too much. Nancy, you're on the screen. Talk.
Is Eddie still with us or no?
Yeah, I'm still
Yep.
trying to figure out how to get the picture up.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Well, meantime, talk to us.
Kenny, what
Talk
about
to
you?
us.
Did you mention you live in Portugal? Did I hear that?
No,
No,
Travel
Philippines.
there. all the
no, we
time.
go to Portugal frequently. We go to Europe frequently. We're foodies, so we
Where do you go in Portugal? Where do you?
we just created a trip, London, Porto, and
I'm
Lisbon.
just going to finish this. This is probably.
Okay.
And I've done all the restaurants, so we have all of our reservations.
Uh-huh.
We've done a lot of hit and miss over the years, so we sort of know now what's good and what's bad, as opposed to, following the tourist crowd.
Yeah. Well, I have family. My in-laws live in Portugal. That's why I asked.
It's where
It's wonderful. They're in Lisbon.
oh, it's wonderful. It's
Yeah.
I mean, everybody. It's just such a nice atmosphere.
Yeah, it is. It's a lovely country. And it should only stay that way.
And
Up
it's also
to-
inexpensive.
Yeah. So
Huh?
far,
Would you say
So
it's
far.
not expensive?
it's not expensive.
Oh, here comes Lenoble. We have another Stephen coming. He hasn't been with us in a while. Well, we never got to Porto last year on our cruise. We missed that and some other port just because of the rough waters. So we spent 2 extra days at sea.
Porto is a wonderful, wonderful town.
Yeah.
You know what else is very nice in Portugal, if anybody gets there, is the very northern part, going to the Spain border. That's an area that people don't go to. It's mountainous. It's very different terrain, but it's lovely to go from the north to the south of Portugal. It's really lovely. I
Kenny,
feel
when
like a PR person for Portugal.
Kenny, when do you think the Sagrada is going to be finished?
Next year.
I don't know how many lifetimes we have, to tell you the truth, but
I heard it's going to be in like 15, 20 years. Is that a possibility?
Sooner or later. Yes, I heard that also.
Yeah.
Well, my other half, Jane, is going with our niece and their 9-year-old and 11-year-old daughter to Paris. And her main reason, all of them, is to go see the Notre Dame. We were there right after the fire. So
it's supposed to be they're supposed to really did it well, and it's supposed to be beautiful.
Yeah, let's see. Did I Lenoble, you're here?
I'm here.
Good. Why do we see you? We don't see you.
It took a while to log in.
Oh, okay. I did hear from Lonnie Smoller, who said she was gonna try to join us, or that Stan was going to probably try to join us. Let's see.
By the way, those of you who are Facebook friends with Barbara Ann Higgs probably know she's going to go under very serious cancer operation in a couple of weeks.
February 11th is the date of her surgery.
Yeah, she's keeping us posted on Facebook. So, Noble, you in here?
I'm here.
Bring us up to date on you. We've been chatting here for 27 months.
No specific news, and relatively good health for an old man. Planning a trip to Florida next month. Potentially a trip following that in May, June to Europe.
Where?
Budapest for one. I'm hoping that my friend Naomi is going to be able to give me some pointers, because she's been there 100 times.
Yep, I can give you hinters.
We were supposed to go there on a river cruise, but the airfare went up like $1,000 the day I wanted to buy it. So,
one of my concerns, though, is that there's no politics allowed here, so I won't say that.
Well, with issues going on, that's the best we can say.
Yeah, with the issues going on, that there may be a shortage of air controllers.
Yep.
So I would not like to be up in the air and not have somebody be able to get the plane down on the ground beside nose first.
Oh yeah, I understand that. What was I going to say? There's a lot of discussion on my Facebook group that let's see, close this here. About the new visas you need to go to Europe and the UK, and nobody's officially come up with that. I mean, I'm not talking politics here. It's just that long before everything else happened, the country hasn't decided yet on whether you need this visa. It's supposed to happen sometime in 2025. So
you're talking about the ETA for the United? Yeah, we just we're going in March, and we just it was nothing. I mean, we just got ours approved. It takes at the most 72 hours. It's a very easy process. Just Google, I guess, UK ETA.
Right.
And you can get it done online.
I would just like to say that we're not talking politics, but the political environment in Hungary has been very difficult for many years. And, as a tourist, you probably will be okay, but don't get involved in anything, because it's a very, very tenuous situation with Viktor Orban, etc. Any of you that have been kept up with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'll try to avoid him.
Lenovo, you don't want to be arrested as a spy. Come on.
I don't mind. It would be a nice experience.
Yeah.
Unusual.
Yeah.
How many people could say they went to
That's
Hungary and
right.
were
Add that to
arrested?
your resume.
Yeah. Yeah. Steve, have you spoken to Stan at all? Because I know you were in touch with him.
I was in touch with his wife
Lonnie,
about a
right?
week ago.
Yeah.
Actually, I spoke to him about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. How,
Who
He
is
said-
Samsung
That's all right,
FM?
but
I don't know who Samsung is.
And they're
Is
muted.
he up there? I let somebody in, but
Steve, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You wrote about Michael Hollinger,
yeah,
new play.
yeah. You know,
Did you see one of his older plays,
I've seen all of them.
Incorruptible?
I've seen almost all of them.
Did you
Like
see
Eddie
Incorruptible?
Wait a
Eddie
minute.
Carpenter.
Is that Eddie the Samsung?
He must be showing off his new computer.
Oh, there he is.
Hi, Eddie.
Can you wave, Eddie? That's it. We
That's
gotcha. We gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm sorry you were
Yeah,
saying.
but now I don't have you.
I was asking you whether you had seen Incorruptible.
Possibly. I get them all mixed up together. I saw the first one, and
For all of you, if you ever get a chance to see Michael Hollinger's play Incorruptible, takes place in the 12th to 13th century in a monastery, and is the most unusual premise for the funniest play I ever saw in my life.
Okay.
you know, well, the reason for that, for those that don't know, is I read a review the other day about a new play by this guy Hollinger, who teaches at Villanova, and it was about a blues recording artist and a studio that's similar to Sun Studios, Sam Phillips. It takes place in Memphis, and apparently this is the studio that tried to get Elvis. They offended him or something, so he walked across the street and went to Sam Phillips. But anyway, the concept is who do recordings belong to after people die? Is the recording that was made, the estate, et cetera, and so the guy finds this old tape that his father made, I guess it was, or his grandfather, I don't remember which, and he wants to release it. And the day before, the great granddaughter shows up and says, "We own the rights to it," but we don't even know if the tape will play yet at this point. And it was very interesting because 2 years ago, I met the great grandniece of Leadbelly, Huddy Ledbetter, and she runs the estate. And I've been through a few panels with her with who owns the rights and what do you do with the names. And you see all these people that sell their catalog. Dylan sold his, and McCartney sold his. So that was it. But I sent him a copy of the review, and he thanked me. So that's it. Keep watching the time. Yeah, we probably have about 5 minutes left.
Did anybody see the Bob Dylan movie?
Yep.
What'd you think of it?
I liked it. I mean, I know the guy that wrote the book that it's based on, who's very well known, and he just did a new book on blues. And I found that he lives about 8 blocks from me, so we've had coffee since then and so on. Yeah, I mean, everybody that's in the folk group is nitpicking it. It's like, how did you play?
Sure.
Yeah, but it's interesting. Yeah.
It
And
took
you?
me back many years and I appreciated it.
Yep.
I lived in New York during the heyday,
Yeah.
went to Village Gate and Village Vanguard and all those
Right.
places. So I was a happy camper.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it comes back to the what was it? Inside, who was the Coen brothers did it? Inside Llewellyn Davis, which really is the same thing. It's Tom Paxton's in there, and Phil Oakes is in there, and all those.
Timothy Chalamet is much cuter than Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan
ever
was, yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Steven,
But
is
Joan
it
Baez
available to
was
stream?
wonderful. Whoever played Joan
Yeah.
Baez,
Oh,
I thought she was wonderful.
I don't think it's streaming yet.
No, okay.
Okay. Well, the interesting streaming that I watched a while ago, I got, I think, Xfinity or something was doing the one about the Pope. What's
Oh,
Conclave.
Conclave? That was
Yeah, that's
really
very good. Yeah.
That was an
Another good
excellent
movie that's out is The Brutalist. If anybody has a chance to see that,
But that's only in
It's
theaters,
with-
right?
oh, it's wonderful. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a 3.5 hours, so be prepared.
Well, many of these are.
And it takes place in Hungary.
Yep.
Yes, it
Adrian
takes place. He's a
Brody.
Hungarian. It's all about him immigrating from Hungary, and it's not a true story, but it's a story about how he could never ever fit in, no matter how famous he got, into the American society. It's a very hard movie to watch, but Adrian Brody plays the lead, and he is magnificent.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
If anybody minds or doesn't mind, I've got a quick story about Naomi and I.
Okay.
She just
We
brought
have
up-
2 minutes and 35 seconds. So do it in under 2
It'll
minutes.
only take less than a
You can
minute.
tell it in
Good.
public?
I
Yeah,
don't know.
we
I'm
can do
nervous.
Naomi wanted to go into New York to, this is after high school, before college, to go to her nursing school. And she asked me to come along with her, and we're driving in the train. And there's my friend Naomi with a pretend fishing rod.
Fishing
And
rod?
she's passing to 2 rows ahead of her, 2 rows ahead of her, to a guy who's wearing an obvious toupee. And she was trying to catch the toupee and reel it in.
It didn't
Brings me
work.
brings a smile to my face every time I think about it.
Yeah.
Today they would have grabbed me off the train. Nobody bothered me
Oh,
doing
God,
that.
that's
Though.
a great story.
That is a
I don't know how
wonderful
many other people
story.
noticed what she was doing, but
Thank you for that, Stephen. Thank you.
You had a
Great.
lot of courage.
Too bad that those were before cell phones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause we'd have a picture that Steve would post.
Yeah, yeah.
Steve, how's your dog? Is your dog still around? I know you had a dog that was
you're talking to me?
you, yes.
Yeah,
You still
no,
have a dog?
no longer.
Okay. Sorry for that.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, we
She's in a
have
better place now.
we have less than a minute, so I'll let everybody else that wants to say something, and you'll all have the recording and probably now.
Steve, I just want to thank you again for creating these on a monthly or bi-monthly basis. They're certainly fun, and I enjoy participating.
Absolutely.
And I
Yeah.
really
Ditto.
loved your trip through Trenton, bringing back so many memories.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. A few
I
places.
met up with Mickey Newman and Rochelle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're like cousins. I haven't seen them in years, but we got together as a result of your video.
Oh, really?
Oh,
That's great.
Nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm looking less than a minute. It's not telling me how many seconds. Okay. Well, I'm going to schedule one for March and we'll see who shows up. If you know anybody that hasn't shown up and you found anybody, or if you know somebody we've lost